Brittany Renner. I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound a little wild, but before I just seen this clip, I was kind of rooting for Brittany Renner. I'm like, I could date Brittany Renner, but then, god damn, she just ruined it. I'm like, I could never. Basically, if you're unfamiliar with what happened, she was on a podcast with a podcast called The Danza Project, and she essentially was asked about her child's father. And her child's father is an NBA player. Goes by the name of PJ Washington. He just got a big old check and all this stuff and everything.
PJ Washington has re-signed with the Charlotte Hornets on a 3-year, $48 million deal.
And what ends up happening is they basically ask her, how does she feel about it? And she said a good answer at first. It was, I want my child's father to win and all this stuff and everything like that.
Regardless of what people say, I believe he deserves whatever he feels he's worthy of. So, whatever that contract looks like, that's what it looks like.
But then she proceeds to take it personal. And how I mean personal is she talked about how she basically had a rip.
I had a second-degree tear. You know what that looks like?
Just
Hello?
say no. I'm gonna say no for all of us.
Is everybody fucking listening?
Say no.
Hello?
Yeah, you.
Let me see if I can find it real quick because I don't want to paraphrase it real quick. Basically, she had like a second-degree tear. Yeah, that's what she said. A second-degree tear on her spot and everything like that, giving birth to this child. She gave birth to a 9-pound baby boy.
Me too.
And she proceeded to yell, does anybody even care?
Almost 9 pounds, right? Does that matter to you? Does that matter to you? Who had such a motherfucking opinion about me?
And then not only did she proceed to yell, does anybody care? She began to get more aggressive because the men, what she said first was, does anybody even know what that is? The men were quiet. She's like, hello, hello. But she was loud with it, like super loud with it. Like, hello, hello. And the men were kind of just like taken aback.
I'm gonna say just say no. I'm gonna say no for all of us.
Is everybody fucking listening?
Just say no.
Hello?
Yeah, you.
A second-degree tear.
And so she proceeded to get loud, a little vulgar, started to throw things and stuff. And
Over there, motherfucking. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, shit.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking.
as she proceeded to do that, in the midst of all this, now she was inebriated, which says a whole lot. But she also went on. Everybody familiar with Charleston White here?
Yeah.
She also went on him, twerked on him in a dress, not jeans, in a dress.
Go ahead and get the pig poker out. Wait a minute.
Poured water on
Wait a minute. I did nothing for that. Oh, that's
him and proceeded to behave like a misfit. And I'm being very nice in how I say misfit.
just a Nicki Minaj
So the question is when it comes to asking about people and their success once they depart from you, what should be essentially a way to handle that? Should you allow basically the birth of the child and how all of these things are going on with the children? Or should you proceed to essentially play the professional route, like the little cookie cutter answers?
Mm-hmm.
Hippie, go ahead and go first because
Okay.
the first one.
So I could be wrong, but I thought doctors will give you an episiotomy. Like, I don't want to be graphic, but it basically professionally gives you a little line so you don't tear. Because when you tear, it can really mess up your everything, right? So normally they'll do that when they know the baby's big. I can't believe they didn't do that. My son was 9-13, and I had him the regular way. I just can't imagine feeling the need to bring that up on a podcast that wasn't about having kids. Like, it seems like it's got to be a substance issue, maybe, hopefully, or she's just crazy. But yeah,
Tabitha?
I don't like it.
So I just want to say that the clip of her on Charleston, that just really threw me all the way off. Because like seriously, because I feel like what happened? You know what I mean? Like that's what that I looked for the video based off of seeing like scrolling on YouTube and seeing just a clip of her on him. And I was like, no, I said somebody had to like put this together, or like I didn't think it was real. So when I clicked on it, I'm like, bro, no, this is not the way. You know what I mean? Like this right here, this ain't it. And see, as females, we've all been hurt. You know, a lot of us have become single mothers. You know, all different types of things, right? But this is not the way. I feel like the way we portray ourselves is something really serious, especially when it comes to men, especially if you want to be with a man. That isn't it. Like, no, I mean, I'm just saying, if I was a man, it couldn't, no, because, and that's nothing against Charleston, but you have a dress on, you know what I mean? Like, no, ma'am. And then where's her team at? They let her get this drunk? Because I feel like the alcohol or whatever really would have added to it and intensified it. Like I feel like if she was a little bit more sober, it wouldn't have went as far as it did, because I feel like she's already a little off up there. But this, like you just said, I feel like I was kind of rooting for her, hoping, you know. But when I seen that, I'm like, man, look, no. Please do not make y'all baby mothers this way, because it can happen. That's the fact. I'm a woman, I know. I ain't going this way, but I'm just saying, y'all, please don't make them this way. I mean, and you know, it made me go and research who the baby daddy was. I didn't even know, like, I don't be on the internet like that. And when I do, I always be hit with news like, wow, that might not even be real. But the baby daddy, man, it looked like he just had a new baby with a girl, and he got a bad, I mean,
a good one.
This girl, she looks good. You know what I mean? She looks good. Even after the baby, she looks like she's doing what needs to be done.
Right.
The whole time, I think she's been being quiet.
Body wise, she looks great to
No,
it.
Brittany looks great. Brittany looks great. I'm just saying, but like to see something like that play out, I could only imagine how it's bothering her. And then, you know, her life is on the internet. You know what I mean? So, but no, that wasn't. I think the people around her, I need to say something to them, because they like, come on, like me, I know how much I can drink or what's my limit or certain things. I don't know how old Brittany is, but I would think she should know, or it just should be some type of limit to what you're doing, especially when you're being recorded.
Would you say limit or say moderation? Because
Both.
you use both. Because we always get told, you know, push the limit, but we never get told push moderation.
Okay, right. I feel you, but I just feel like was there not a certain point somebody maybe should have said something to her? Because I didn't see the whole video, but just all the clip I seen, how much did she have? You know what I mean?
Like she had a lot.
I feel like, man, she had to have a whole lot to be on Charleston with the dress on. With the dress on, do you know? Look, before that video, do you know how many dudes would have wanted to be Charleston before this video?
Not just dudes. I was one.
Even women, you know what I mean? They would have been happy to be him, but now that we done seen him, it's like.
But then again, we are young.
I'm gonna blame the alcohol. Nah, I'm gonna blame the alcohol. I'm gonna blame the alcohol.
I'm not letting her go yet. I'm not letting go.
I'm gonna blame the alcohol because honestly, what she's going through, you could just tell off the way she responded. Like it's affecting her for real. Like
Yeah, the
Yeah,
alcohol.
I think how it came off to me was bitterness,
yes, she's
but
bitter.
in a deep internal bitterness that she needs counseling over. And I had to preface this by saying a young man, regardless of his money, is not ready for the responsibility of a woman, her happiness, and morals that you should have, that society has adorned to us. And how I mean that is this: we get to a certain level where there's just certain standards you're supposed to be doing. A man in his 20s, opposed to a man in his 30s, opposed to a man in his 40s. As he gets older, he's supposed to learn the standards. But innately, men are already aware of this. It's why the young dudes go to war and the old men direct it.
Mhm.
With Brittany Renner, it's like, Shawty, you're in your 30s now. You're in your 30s. Once a woman, and this is how society is pressing it forward, I know y'all probably will disagree and everything. A lot of women will. But once you hit your 30s, it has to look a different way. It just has to. You have to show a level of maturation. Everything she showed seemed like hurt. You're being physically aggressive towards men who could beat the hell out of you. And you know that. And the worst part is if a man were to react like that with a bunch of women, he would be massacred from both sides. It'll look like we just united.
Hundred
Right.
percent.
Everybody's like, dang,
Hundred
we
percent.
for Charleston.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
see, I
like
love how you just said all that.
she put herself on Charleston White like that. And I was just like, ew, no, it's over. It's over. It's
Right? It's
over.
over. That was the thought I'm telling you, so a lot of us was like, bro.
I was like, it's so, and I was thinking about it like, man, it looked like she's changing. I seen her around Andrew Tate, and she was very subservient. And it's like that dominant male type of figure and stuff like that. It seems like that's going to be the only way she has to go because what she was talking about, she wants to run a business with a man and all this stuff. You have to be aware of public image.
Yeah,
You
right.
you have to be. You have to be aware of this. I know anybody meet me and they, hey, Seti Nash, I had to meet them with a higher level of energy, had to smile and all this stuff and everything. So it's a pleasure to have met me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I know I can't be super drunk out and about anything because hey, I can mess around, slip, bust my ass right there. Look at this, Seti Nash, a goofy ass drunk.
Hmm.
You get
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Hey, pray for Seti
Right.
Nash,
You have
man.
to
He an
carry
alcoholic.
yourself a certain way.
And I slight way kind of felt bad for her because it's like she's never put the mirror up to herself.
Mm.
I really feel bad for her. Like you said, her whole is really screaming hurt. And not even just hurt from, you know what I mean, from her child's father. Like deep hurt. Like, um, and I don't even know, has she spoke on this yet? Like, has she?
She has, but I haven't listened to it because I don't care at this point. Because it's like this. You were doing so well for the last couple of months. You were doing a whole reimaging thing. I see you at the BET Awards and stuff like that. You've been
Right.
hosting some backstage stuff, and she's a little flirty, but she's super attractive. I'll give her that. Just
Right.
because she lower valued herself with that stuff she did on Charleston White, I will still say, like, hey, before that, yeah, you can flirt. Women flirt. It's cool. It's harmless, but you just threw it all away.
But that's what I'm saying. Even with like I said, our image, the way we present ourselves, I promise you, if she had not had as much alcohol or whatever, she would. I don't think she would have did that. Me personally, I think she was just too lit. I don't think if she really had time to think that through, she would have never. Like, think about sober her. They
Mm.
need to ask her that. If anybody interviews her about that podcast, they need to ask her, would sober you have gotten to Charleston like that? Because I really don't believe.
No.
So I had to ask you that.
Yeah, they.
Um, I
She
don't believe
definitely would
so.
have. Mm-mm.
Another thought on this, hippie, or you want to go
No,
to the next one?
yeah, I'm not ready to trash her yet. I want to give it time. You know, the hippie in me wants to fix her. So,
Right. We gonna wish her the best. I think it was just I'm gonna blame the alcohol.
mhm.
I'm still rooting for it, but that image of her on Charleston White is gonna sear into the back of my mind. It
I
just
know,
ain't.
I understand. I understand. Y'all men, it's like the images for y'all are the worst.
Well, it's like this. I ain't tripping if she do this on Idris Elba or something like that.
Yeah, it's Idris.
You get what I'm saying?
Charleston.
So it's Charleston White. He calls himself Rat Williams. You twerked on a rodent, essentially. You
Yeah.
ain't twerking on masculine. No, I don't think any man would have had like no problem. Like we'd have been like, damn, she might get bag Idris. Holy shit, let me go in there and get a few crutches out. But
That's what I'm
it's the type
saying.
of men that y'all do this stuff to. Like it just is what it is. You know.